Hey, what's up everyone? One of the main questions I've been getting recently is how much money do I need to start selling on Amazon FBA? So in this video, I'm going to outline all the main costs involved and how much you can expect to pay. Alright, so let's go. Okay, so first of all, you need to be clear on what FBA actually is, okay? So for those of you who don't know, FBA is Amazon Service Fulfillment by Amazon, okay? So if you've got a product that you want to sell on Amazon, what FBA is you can send that product or those products to their fulfillment centers. So in Japan, they have many fulfillment centers, throughout the country. What you do is you send your products there, and then Amazon will actually store your products in their warehouses. And when a customer buys your product on, from your product page on Amazon, Amazon will then pack and ship your product to that customer's address. Okay, so if you understand that, then you can see that technically all you need is the money to pay for a product and the money to send that product into Amazon's fulfillment centers. Okay, so you technically, you could sell something cheap that's under 1,000 yen, or you could sell something that's over 10,000 yen, whatever. It doesn't matter, but you need to be able to cover those costs. But you have to be aware that Amazon charges fees for their service. Okay, it's not free. So you have to find a product that is profitable at the end of the day. Otherwise, you're just going to be donating money to Amazon. So, for example, if you're going to allocate, say, $500 to your product costs, you could buy a low amount of something that's expensive. Say, if a unit costs you $100, you get 5 for $100, right? Or you could get 1,000 units of something that costs 50 cents. So you can kind of see where your budget comes into play, right? So basically, the more money you have, the more power you have. The more expensive units you can buy, and the higher volume you can buy. So for us personally, we use a model called private labeling. So we buy our products in bulk from a supplier up until now from China, whereas where a lot of people buy their products from. And you buy in bulk, and then we put our own logo and we brand them ourselves to make them our own unique, our own unique product. It helps to kind of protect yourself by doing it this way. You can differentiate yourself from your competitors, can protect you from hijackers, which is a topic for another video. And yeah, that way you can also, if you want to, you can build a brand, which is something with value. And another good thing about private labeling is because you're buying in bulk, you're selling that same product. At the end of the day, for Amazon, you want to be able to get your product in front of the right type of people, the customers that are looking to buy your kind of product. So when you're selling the same product over and over again, it helps rank your product, and you can move up on the search results of Amazon's pages, right? And ideally, you want to get your product to the top left of the search results for your main keywords. That's also a topic for another video. But so once you can get up there to the top of either the first page, you've got to be on the first page. That's when you start making more and more sales, and then you make more organic sales, and then you don't have to spend so much on advertising as well. So you make more profit at the end of the day, and you're selling constantly day and night. Okay, and with that being said, let's jump right into the smaller details. Okay, so first up, you need an account, right? You need a seller's account. And I've written down here professional seller account. So there's two options. You've got professional seller account and you've got the individual seller account. There's a big difference between them. The reason you want a professional seller account is it's a monthly subscription, and it's 4,900 yen per month. Okay, so that's about $45 US. So I'll keep everything easy in this video and keep everything in US dollars just to keep it simple. Okay, so so $45. The difference is, so if you choose the individual account, it's not a subscription. So you pay every unit that you sell. You pay Amazon 100 yen. Okay, so basically, so you can think about if the professional one costs 4,900 per month, and ideally you want to be selling over 49 units, right? So it just makes financially, it makes sense to go with the seller account, and you get more benefits and features and things like that as well. And I think right now, well, they've had it for a while. Amazon Japan has a what do you call it, like a special kind of thing going on for your first month. if you set up an account, it's only 10 yen, like 10 cents for the first month when you have a professional seller's account. Alright, so next up is a sample. So you've been looking around for a product, you've found one that you're really interested in, and so if you want it, you want to check the quality, right? So before you go out and spend a bunch of money on buying a bunch of units, the most safest thing to do is when you're speaking to your supplier, ask them to send you a sample. And pretty much everyone, all suppliers, will comply with that, and usually they will only ask you to pay for the shipping costs to send to your address to check it out and evaluate the quality yourself. So let's just say it's about $50, something like that, just to get it sent to your place so you can have a sample and things like that. Alright, next is UPC code. Okay, so pretty much every product that's sold around the world has a UPC code. So a lot of the products when you see in the supermarkets, they have the barcode. It's basically a barcode, okay, but in Amazon's case, it's what they need to register a product on their system. Okay, so there's two ways basically to go about getting the UPC code. There's the cheap way and the expensive way. Okay, so the expensive way, it's going to cost you around $250 plus to get a UPC code that is a unique one. Okay, so it's like brand new, and you're the first person to have that one. And Amazon wants you to buy these unique UPC codes. Okay, but also there's another way you can do it, and it's a lot cheaper, and it only costs you around $5. And so these aren't unique codes, and some of them have been recycled and things like that. And Amazon kind of frowns upon it, but the majority of people are still using these kind of codes. But that's up to you which way you want to go. But I'm just going to put down here $5. So for this video, I'm going to do this bare bones. Okay, so I'm going to try and make it show you how the least amount of money you need to be able to do private labeling on Amazon Japan. So I'll also put in some optional prices at the end if you want, other things that you can pay for as well. But I'm trying to show you what is possible. It's technically, it might be really difficult, but it's possible. All right. Okay. So let's move on. So next, your logo design. So like I said, we get our logo either printed on, you can get them engraved on or whatever, just to brand it as your own. So you can get this done really cheaply. You can get logos done for $5 on Fiverr.com. So I'll just put $5 down there. So what you do is once you get your design made from like Fiverr or whatever, then you can just send that source file or whatever to your supplier, and so they have it on their system, and then they can print it whatever onto your products. Okay, next, product costs. So this is probably the biggest variant out of the whole process, I guess you could say, because it completely depends on how much you spend on your products, right? So, and as I said earlier, it depends on your volume as well. So you can buy a whole bunch, or you can buy a low amount, but from more expensive or whatever. So in this example, I'm just going to say that your product costs are going to be $2, and you're going to get 500 units. So let's even it out at $1,000. Okay, so $1,000, so 500 units times $2, because it's still, obviously it's possible to do this. So, but yeah, as I said, you can do whatever you want with this with your product costs. So next, shipping. So assuming that you're going for something that's small and lightweight, you're trying to keep your shipping costs down. You're probably looking at, it completely depends as well, but I'm going to put down here $300, because if it's small and light, it's going to be, and the good thing about Japan, if you're sending it from China to Japan, shipping is really cheap. And also if you go sea shipping, which is even cheaper, it's still quick. It's only like 7 days, like sea shipping. So that's another bonus of doing in Japan. Alright, so yeah, let's just say it's going to be $300, but that's obviously variable as well, depending on your size and the weight. Okay, so next is the importer of record. Okay, so I'll just explain a bit more for those people that don't know what this is. Basically, when you're importing something into Japan, you need to have an importer of record. And what this is a person or an entity that is in Japan, which is basically going to act as a consignee for your goods coming in. So if there's any troubles, or if there's any more taxes to pay or something like that, that importer of record is going to be held responsible, right? So there are companies that offer the service. You can speak to me if you want, if you're interested, and I might be able to help you out as well. And depends on the products and things like that. But basically, the rule of thumb, you're looking at around about $50 per shipment. Okay, so put down here $50 for your input or record service. And then, okay, the next one is translation, which is a big one, and this is also very can range as well depending on what kind of translation you want. So if you want like the cheapest kind of option of a translation, if you write out everything in English that you want on the page and then you just want something to simply translate it, it's going to be much cheaper. You may be looking anywhere, say $20 to maybe $50. That's the cheapest you're probably going to get it. But then if you want a more nicer translation, or if you want them to do everything themselves and you want it, you know, rich with keywords and things like that, obviously it's going to cost you more. So for that side of things, it could cost you from $100 to $300, something like that, for the whole thing to be done for you. But if you just want the translation done, you can get it done for probably $50. So in this case, I'm just going to, you know, keep everything cheap and bare bones, so I'm going to put $50. Alright, so those are all of your main costs, okay? And then so down here, put some optional things as well. So for packaging, so I personally recommend that you do get custom packaging done. It makes you know, your product a lot more nicer, and you can show that in your photos and things like that, because a lot of people won't make nice packaging, and that's one way you can, you know, you can differentiate yourself. And it doesn't have to be too expensive as well. You know, you can get this done on Fiverr as well for, you know, maybe $25, something like that. So yeah, I'll put that down for $25 for your packaging if you want to get custom stuff done. All right, and next is inspection. Okay, so if you want to go one step further in checking your quality of your, you know, of your inventory while it's still in China or wherever wherever your supplier is, you can actually pay for a third-party inspection agency to go there, actually to the factory, and look at your products for you, and they'll, you know, write out a really detailed report, and you know, you can take that report and you can then you have a bit more power if there's something wrong with your order. If there's, you know, quality problems or something like that, then you can, you know, speak to the supplier and tell them you're not happy, and then maybe you can work something out. Okay, so yeah, I'll put down here. So it's at least $100. Okay, so there's, you know, different companies, different agencies have different prices, but I have seen some places for at least $100. They range from about $100 to $300. So the cheapest you're probably going to find is $100. Okay, and the last one I've put down here is photos. Okay, and yeah, I strongly suggest that you do, you know, invest in getting professional photos done, because your photos are your most important part of your product page. That's the place that, you know, the customers are going to look at first, and what they're going to really evaluate on whether they look further into your product. Okay, so but if you don't, you know, if you don't want to spend the extra money on photos, you know, that's up to you. Maybe you've got a friend who's a photographer, or you have a nice camera that maybe you can figure something out. So that's why I put it down as optional. But if you are going to get professional ones done, they do cost, you know, anywhere from like $200 to $300. So I'm going to put down here $200 for your photos. All right, and yeah, that's the basic main cost that's going to be required if you're going to do private labeling on Amazon FBA Japan. So the total for all of the main costs here is going to be So there you go, $1,500, $1,505 around about. And yeah, please remember that this is complete bare bones, as I said before. This is, you know, the cheapest it's really going to get, and you do probably want to spend more on your, you know, product costs if you can. Yeah, you probably want to spend some money on photos and things like that. And also, this isn't using any software as well. Okay, so software can make your life a lot easier if you're using software. That's not using any launch services or anything like that. So this is just complete basics. Okay, $1,500. And one last thing I'm going to say, which a lot of people won't really tell you on YouTube, is you have to be prepared to order your second order. Okay, so if your product starts selling well and it starts doing good daily numbers, you're going to start running out of stock, and Amazon pays you out every 2 weeks, okay? Well, 2 weeks out of the month, and then you need to have money ready to reorder. So you have to have your product costs. So let's say another $1,000, and then the other 300 for shipping, ready as well, ready to go. If your product takes off, okay. So because if you don't, then all your hard work of ranking your product, getting up higher on the pages, it's gonna drop. As soon as you go out of stock, which is one of the problems you really want to avoid. So be careful. Have a bit of money on the side, ready to make your second order as well. That's pretty crucial, which a lot of people screw up. Okay, and that's about it. So to wrap things up, you're probably looking at just under $3,000 realistically. For those watching that, that sounds like it might be a bit high. I'm sorry, but I'm just trying to be realistic and avoid having some surprises later on down the track, and try to highlight the fact that this is the cheapest it's kind of going to get. Like, this is bare bones stuff, so keep that in mind. And yeah, hopefully this helped. If you like this video, click that like button and subscribe. If you haven't joined the Facebook group yet, please, you can join there. I try and answer as many questions as possible, and the community is growing every day, which is pretty cool. Yeah, and that's about it. All right, thank you very much. See you.